Okay, so here we are. Yeah, when that song from Madonna, "The Love Profusion," when I heard that in 2012, it was the song that pretty much encompassed what it felt like getting that God goddess smack, from the universe, the wake up call, the ignition switch, that kind of like the key got turned into the engine, and I was just getting ready to rev up here. So, the energy was just flowing, right? Oh, and I'm just kind of going through the motions here, like I'm in my own little world, my own little dance while life and the busy and everything. I was just was this fairy, you know crazy fairy sister kind of girl flipping around, living in, with hummingbirds and fairies and all kinds of crazy energy that I just couldn't really, getting touched by nature. I became this advocate and this protector of Mother Earth and the elementals and just everything was just more connected. Okay, and in this energy, as Madonna aptly calls it, the love profusion, okay, is exactly what this is. That's what this is. So as I say, this greatest love story and this greatest holy grail, that's what it is. It's discovering and reconnecting to love. And it's, well, everyone says love. It's on the billboards. It's, we have a holiday about love, and we say the word, I love this, I love my shoes, I love my friend, I love my dog, I love my husband, I love my mate, I love my grandma, I love, we use this word. It's this amazing word that gets tossed about. And do we really know what love is? I want to know. We all want to know what love is. We all want to feel. We know it in movies. Okay, being a Hollywood gal and being a filmmaker and being somebody who loves watching movies and I'm a sucker as anyone at sappy love stories and love movies and it's just even in you know superhero movies and whether it be Ant-Man or Deadpool or these other movies. It doesn't even have to be a fantasy fairy tale or a sci-fi movie or anything, but it's like everything comes down to that. Love is the answer. Love is going to save the day. Love is the superpower. It's the magic key. And it's just, it's all about understanding what it is. And it's like it's the greatest it's the greatest power, the greatest gift, and the greatest treasure of all. And everyone has their own journey to find out what this love perfusion is, and it comes, when you're ready for it, it comes in a wave, and as my dear friend Robert has described in his own journey, which you'll see coming up in the series, he discovered it on a mountain top, and here we are on this very high mountain, in this Mount Tamalpais here, and it's way, way up here, and it's glorious. We parked ourselves in this woods here, and to explain what this is all about, and it's just it's being one with all of this. It's being aware that this is connected to this field of energy, and as I described in my little just a blip, okay, of the technologies with John Searle, okay, the energy, the technologies that I have been primarily promoting and seem to connect to most are the etheric ones. Okay, this is beyond solar, beyond water, beyond wind, beyond any other semi-ecological producing fuel, non-fuel as far as your typical oil. Okay, but there's an energy field of ether itself, which is, I had told you about the 0 point. Okay, it's this field of energy that is atmospheric. It basically, while the sun is still in our orbit or in our, wherever we're at, how you want to relate the sun in your awareness, scientifically speaking or otherwise, while the sun has an energetic, energetic resonance and frequency and power of energy it can actually be a source of fuel. And I mean beyond solar. Okay, so when you did a little research more on the John Searle story, and I highly suggest that everyone watch this movie. You can you'd have to buy the DVD or see clips of it on the John Searle story YouTube channel or the John Searle story website. Okay, John Searle story. It has to be that one with has John's face on the cover. And my dear friend Brad Lockman, who I became connected to that project, that was what lit the spark for me. Okay, because the energy of the technology is fueled by this ether. And you're like, well, what is ether? What is this? I basically when it came into my life, this energy of love. Okay, that was it. Just became you become one with everything. You become an element. You become a walking element of it, and you keep and only the ones who really have experienced you call it a spiritual experience, or one that is just unexplainable, and it's nothing that you can wrap your mind around, because it comes from the heart, and the heart has more power, more resonance, more electromagnetic frequency energy than the mind, than the brain. Okay, it's the first organ that gets birthed within a child, and it is our superpower. Iron Man, okay, and then others, this is the force field of the heart. Okay, so the heart of life itself, the heartbeat of life, the fuel that runs our planet. And I'm not talking about oil here. I'm talking about the actual energy that makes the oil come up. This is what's called ether. This is what's called 0 point energy. It's called free energy. You got Nikola Tesla and John Searle, who are the godfather and the grandfather of this type of technology that was developed in the 20s, 30s, 40s. So this is the field of energy that I seem to have stumbled upon, and it was I put myself in a space to receive the information, and then it came, and then I just became somewhat of a catalyzer and an assist to help move these projects along. And so, as I say that the John Searle story was the first catalyzer for me, and it just literally it just came as a perfusion, as the best way the Madonna says, and it completely ignited something inside of me that could not be squelched, and it's the fire within. It's the fire within. Okay, and once that happens, it's like opening up a feather pillow in a windstorm. you can't collect the feathers after that. You unload a drop of water into the ocean, and you can't get it back. Once you really absorbed it, and that's what it became for me. And it was an interesting experience. The first movement happened in 2010, and when that happened, it's like all I wanted to do, as I say at the end of the video, I just want everyone to know, what this is. But when people aren't ready to see this, as you've seen in the Plato's Cave video, when you're not ready to see it and not ready to experience it because you're just going through your own, I wasn't ready 10 years ago, before 10 years ago, I wasn't ready, and I was open to it, but that doesn't mean that you're ready for it. Just because you open mind and an open heart. It's not. I used to listen to this stuff for 20 years on the radio, and I was, curious about it. And, oh God, that sounds intriguing. But your beingness needs to really be in a state of allowance and freedom. And it wasn't until I guess when I moved out of Hollywood in 2007 that I had that availability of time. And it's like, well, everyone, who loves the luxury? You have time and space, but we all put ourselves in places, and sometimes life does it for us. If we don't do it ourselves, you don't hear the call, you don't hear the message or take the message. And sometimes, I've worked directly with people who, or seen, friends and stuff, that they know they need to make a change in their life, and yet they're not listening to the signs. They're not listening to their own body. They're not listening to their own higher self wisdom. their own intuition, and then they'll either get in a car accident or another accident will happen, or a friend who who says, oh yeah, in 3 years I'll get to it, and she got disabled at work, and her career ended just like that, for a year till she had to recover. So it's sometimes life does that, and it's like love needs to be expressed, and it's basically love for yourself. It's self love. And it's the universe energy saying it's time for you to awaken. And there's these movies called Jupiter Rising and Star Wars: The Awakening, and it's like a movement that is not stopping and it's not waiting for anyone. It's like you got to step up and step in, and everyone goes through this type of metamorphosis, manifesting it to a dragonfly from a water beetle, or a butterfly from a caterpillar and a chrysalis. I mean, this is just the journey and the evolution of life. And every single one of us, you can't, acorn eventually will need to come into an oak tree, and whatever seeds get planted in the earth, however things land down, evolution and just the growing process will do what it's designed to do. And so, more and more of us are coming awake, and the universal energies, astrologically even, astronomically, are pushing us. The resonance of this planet is changing dramatically. The heartbeat, the frequency of the planet is just morphing from the higher octave, different octaves. It says there's a Schumann resonance. You can look that up, okay, and do some research on the Schumann resonance and solfeggio tones and these type of terms that I'm bringing up here, that is relating to what this aspect of it's like the sound of the earth itself, that vibration, that you can maybe feel or hear, and if you just take the time to listen, give yourself. That's why I encourage everyone to put themselves in a space, no matter how oh, I'm too busy, I don't have time. Nobody takes the time, but it's just priorities, and I don't judge or condemn anyone who needs to do what they need to do, their obligations and stuff. But it's everybody knows the number one most important thing in life is family and love, and just being with the people that you care about. More than doing something. And we get lost in that shuffle, and we forget ourselves. We put ourselves on the back burner, and sometimes life is going to force you to you work too hard, and then you get sick, and it's like, okay, you worked hard enough, and I'm going to take you down with the flu, and that's life saying, it's not because there's a bug out there. I haven't been sick in years, and I would rarely get sick, maybe once every few years. I took care of myself and stuff like that, but I was susceptible to anything as much as anybody. But I did make conscientious efforts, because I got hit with a disease, for my throat, and it debilitated me, and it forced me to eat better and eat differently. So then I became more mindful of what I had in my body, and I wouldn't have less. I became a health nut and organic foodie 25 years ago, when it wasn't even that popular. You have your hippies, zippies, and dippies, and I was one of them, granola sister, and a snob when it came to healthy foods and stuff like that. And then I went extreme, but I changed a lot of people's awarenesses of certain foods, that how to keep aware of labels and stuff like that. And this is part of the process. Part of the process is when you're going through this, as I say, the wholeness, beyond just wellness, but wholeness aspects of life. When you start really focusing on your body, mind, and spirit, and not everybody, they do one, they'll do the body, they'll exercise, but then they'll forget the mind part, or they'll do the mind and the body, but they won't focus on the spirit, or they'll do too much spirit, and then they atrophy on the body, as she said. So it's a balancing act, is what it really is. And so this was my journey, okay, of really committing to the whole body energy, and life decided to give it to me in the way it did, through this aspect of these technologies that got me to focus on a bigger picture beyond myself, and that's when this etheric energy of these frequencies and magnetics drew me deep and drew me in, and that's what this was all about. So we're going to continue in the next chapter, and I'll go a little bit deeper into it. But thanks for joining the ride here.